Shabbat Shalom and happy Sabbath. Thank you for tuning in to the Vineyard of Israel on this good Sabbath. My name is Brother Nehemiah, and this is Brother Kurt here. He's going to be the reader for today. We're going to be bringing you a message today entitled The Role of a Shepherd. And what we're going to be dealing with today is things that are tied in with being a shepherd, how to play the role of a shepherd, what your duties are, and also those who the shepherd lead, you know, what they role will be, basically. So these are some things that we're going to touch on because everybody going to play the role of a shepherd in some way, shape, form, or fashion, you know, whether it be the husband over the household, whether it be the actual your teacher at the assembly, even when the women are without the father around and they have to deal with the children, they're going to be playing shepherd role. So we all need to know how to play our role. And when you learn how to play your role, you know, the movie, it's a lot better. You know, you got a chance of winning an Oscar because everybody know their role. You know, ain't nobody stepping on nobody's toes. And what this also does, it helps to try to keep some peace within that relationship, you know, whether it be father and wife, husband and wife, mother and daughter, father and son, or pastor and members. You know, we all got a role to play, so we need to play our role, you know. So that's basically what we're going to be touching on today, and we're going to be starting at 1 Corinthians chapter 14. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verses 33 and verse 40. 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33 and verse 40. Because we need to see how the Most High likes things and also what he put in place to attempt to make it operate in the way that he wants to. So 1 Corinthians 14, when you get to verse 33, go ahead and read for me.
For Yah is not the author of confusion.
He is not the author of confusion, but
of peace.
Of peace. So he wants peace. So in any situation, he wants peace to be brought into it. That's why even when you come into this walk, he never say everything gonna be perfect. He tell you count the cost, and then he say if A happens, then you need to react like this. If B happens, then you do this. If C happens, then you do this. So he give us, I would say, tips on how to handle every situation. So at the end, that he could be, everything could be established, and it could be have order, and it could have peace. Keep going.
As in all churches of the saints.
Of the saints, or the set apart ones, those who were supposed to be holy are set apart. So the assemblies are the set apart, right? This is how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. We're supposed to have order and have peace. Verse 40.
Let all things be done decently and in order.
Let all things be what?
Done decently and in order.
And he wouldn't say this unless he have laid down the blueprint and showed you how to handle whatever situation you come through. Again, he never said everything was going to be all good. He just said count the cost, and then when this happens, this is how I expect you to conduct yourself, to be the mirror reflection of me. So wherever there's confusion, Yah is not there. He's not in the midst of that, because he says that he is about peace and he's about order. He's not about disorder, right? So we're supposed to be the assembly of the set apart ones. So we're supposed to be living up to a certain standard, and everything that we do must be done decently and in order. You know, an organization has a chain of command, right? So if you're gonna go to even a company to work for, you're gonna have your CEO, your presidents, your vice presidents, you know, your managers. Everything is set in place so that there's order. And when everybody goes through the proper chain of command, everything runs smoothly. You know, it's supposed to be a well-oiled machine operating when you are playing your role and you're loyal to your role. So the body is basically full of organs, right? A physical body, same way as the spiritual body. It's full of different parts, and every part is important, right? It's going to be a lot harder to move around even if you lose a pinky toe or a big toe, right? These things help you maintain balance so that you don't fall. You know, every part of your body is important. That's why Yah created us in this manner. So the shepherds are supposed to guide the flock, and they're supposed to protect the sheep. So they're supposed to guide the flock, which means show them the direction, and he's supposed to protect the sheep. And the way he's going to show them, guide them and show them the way, is giving them the directions of the Most High. And this is going to keep them on that narrow path. That's the job of a shepherd, is to protect and to guide. Let's go to Jeremiah 23. And we're going to read verses 1 through 2. 23, Jeremiah 23, and verses 1 through 2. Because it's a hard job being a leader, whether it be of a congregation or a household. It's a lot of responsibilities on you. It's a lot of stress. If you're the man of the house, you got to make sure that them bills paid no matter what, because your wife and your children, you got to look out for their well-being, right? So same thing with a leader of a congregation. He got to make sure everything is going good, even when you don't have nobody to play this role or that role, right? So it's hard. So just relate to this as you being a shepherd of your own household. It's a lot of pressure on you, a lot of responsibilities. Jeremiah 23, we're going to read verses 1 through 2. Go ahead.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
Them bars. Say that again.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahuwah.
So he giving warning, and that would be good in the route. But he giving warning. He's saying, woe to the shepherds, to the pastors that destroy and scatter the flock of my pasture. So he's telling them, like, hey, woe to you, because you got a job to do, but you're doing the opposite of what I put you in the place to do, right? Go to 2.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah thy Elohim of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away.
So they scattering them away instead of bringing them together. A true shepherd is supposed to see when one sheep leave, he go get that sheep. you know, because every sheep matter, right? All sheep matter. So he'll go get the sheep, and then you just not getting yeah. So I need y'all to keep up, you know. So anyway, so he gonna go get that one sheep that's left, right? So that's the job of a pastor, you know. Even your pastor, he's supposed to, or your teacher, he's supposed to go and make sure that everybody stay in order, you know. And he's supposed to have the type of eye to see that, like, okay, this is kind of going off here. Let me step in and see what's going on, right? The shepherd have a relationship with each and every sheep. So as we got to play the same role. We got to know how the sheep are, you know, whether it be the head of the household. You got to know how your children are. You got to know their personalities. Okay, now this child is like this, but this child is like this. So what I don't have to give this child a lot of over here, I got to give this one a lot, because that's what's required. You know, this one needs more. So we got to know that, you know, the same way with the leader of a congregation as well. You know, you got to know people, even in businesses, people who own businesses, and they hold a high position, but they still come and they, like a call center, they walk the call center floor. They build rapport with they coworkers and they under people, right? They will usually have better numbers, because people gonna want to put in a better job and effort as far as doing their job, because you built a rapport, and they like, oh yeah, he cool, he watch out for us, you know, he considerate, right? Hit 2 again. So the word from the teacher or the shepherd is supposed, the word pastor is actually supposed to be shepherd here. You know, when you actually get into the language, it actually says shepherd, right? So go to verse 2, read that again.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah thy Elohim of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock.
Well, hold on. What are they supposed to do? The shepherds are supposed to feed my people. A shepherd is supposed to make sure his flock is fed. Now we're speaking spiritually. We're supposed to be getting fed, right? When you come to the assembly, it's not supposed to be to where you're not growing. It's supposed to be, they're supposed to give you the word of Yah so that you can grow, and they help you to go out the other 6 days and operate in a Yahly manner to resemble him, right? Keep reading. So they were supposed to feed them, but what did they do?
Ye have scattered my flock.
They scattered the flock. Keep going.
And driven them away, and have not visited them.
Right.
Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahuwah.
Right. So bad leaders will get punished by the Most High. They have to get dealt with, right? Because I put you in this place to do a specific role, and you didn't do it. If you work at a job and you hired to flip burgers and you decide, I ain't flipping today, you know, hey, they're going to walk you out the door. You know, everybody got to play their role. So Yahuwah is going to lead the shepherd, and the shepherd is going to lead the flock. It's like a chain. It's a hierarchy in order, right? So again, leading the flock is a heavy role, because it comes with a lot of responsibilities, right? It's like if anything go wrong, it's going to be on you. You know, whether it really was your fault or not, everything gonna be on you. So playing the role of a leader requires a lot of responsibility, and it's a lot of pressure. Let's go to Proverbs 27 and 23. Because even in 1 Timothy, we'll get that after that. Because he said, now let's go ahead and go to 1 Timothy 5 and read 19 through 21 real quick. Because he just said, woe to the pastor, right? So let's take a look at some. First Timothy 5, 19 through 21. I'm talking about this pressure being a leader. When y'all put you in a position that you got to carry their load. 1 Timothy 5 and verses 19 through 21. Go ahead.
Against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses.
So he giving order. Remember, I said he never said everything's going to be perfect, but when this happens, this is how you conduct yourself. He says, what again? Read that.
Against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. Them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear.
Right. So those that sin rebuke before all. So if you keep going.
I charge thee before Elohim and the Adonai Yeshua Hamashiach and the elect angels, that thou observe these things without preferring one before another,
Right.
doing nothing by partiality.
Right. So in this walk, anybody can get it, right? And it says you need witnesses when you're going to reprove the elders, right? But it's showing that anybody can get it when it comes to disciplinary action from the Most High, right? So before others, meaning that you're going to be made an example so that if you get it, everybody else is going to fear. So woe unto the pastors. Go to Proverbs 27 and 23. Proverbs 27 and verse 23. And when you get there, go ahead.
Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks.
Know the state of your flock. Know what's going on. Know what your brothers and sisters that's going through that's under you. Know what your children that's going through while you a parent, right? You got to be inquisitive, man. How you doing? Hey, baby girl, how was your day? You know what I'm saying? How was school? You ask all this stuff so that you can get an insight on what's going on. You know, if your daughter, your son actually feel like, man, my mom and my dad is a true parent and they really care, they're going to be more open to you and let you know stuff. So now I got an opportunity to nip situations in the bud early on versus if you don't have no relationship with them, you're going to find out the hard way. You know, little Timmy had beef with Johnny, but he never came to you about it. And then you get a call on the phone. Yeah, your son has been shot. He's in the hospital. You know, he's in critical condition. He never told you about the stuff that was happening to him because he didn't have no relationship with you. So read 23 again.
Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks.
So even the leader need to be knowing a little something about their members, you know what I'm saying? Because not everybody going to be saying like, hey, man, I need some help. I'm doing this and that. You might just not see them for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you find out, oh, man, they got put out their house. They didn't have nowhere to go, you know, so they had to relocate 2 hours away until they can get back on their feet. But you might have been able to assist them or everybody come together if you would have known what was going on, right? So that's important. Keep reading.
And look well to thy herds.
And look well to your herds, right? And mine say, set your heart to your herds. Be dedicated to this. This is a walk you have to be dedicated to. It's a lot of pressure, but you got to be dedicated. And each person is different, so you need to know how to handle each person according to their character, you know, and their personalities. Some people serious and stiff. You can't say no jokes because they don't know how to smile. You know, their lips just don't work like that, right? But some people, you know, they real jovial. So you might have a serious moment with them, and you got to learn how to approach them to be serious, you know, without offending them, right? And every man is a shepherd of his own house again, and he needs to know their children's ways and pay close attention to them. Now, you know, even with David's sheep, when the lion of bear came and snatched one of his sheep, if he wouldn't have been paying attention, he would have never known, so that he can go try to, you know, fend for it. So we got to stay focused. Luke 22. Luke 22. Kurt, would you say it's a lot of pressure being the head of the household?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of responsibility, huh? All right, Luke 22, verse 26 through 27. Luke 22, verse 26 through 27. When you get to 26, go ahead and read.
But ye shall not be so, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that does serve.
So he is chief that serves. So the so-called greater man is going to be serving, right? That's the man who putting in work, right? So these positions is going to be established by the Most High. He going to put everybody in place, you know, to be playing their role. I never thought that I'd be doing what I'm doing now. I never thought that I'd be a reader. You couldn't have told me none of this stuff back in the day for a church. But, you know, y'all work it out and put people in places where he needs He work it out like that, right? 27.
For whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is he not he that sitteth at meat? But I am among you as he that serveth.
Right. So a leader job is going to be 24/7. So you always got to be ready, and on go. You got to be trained to go, and always ready. Every position, again, within the body is important. Every position has a duty to serve, right, in order for the body to function properly. But it is order, and it's a hierarchy to this thing, right? So if the leaders ain't leading properly, then the flock gonna scatter, right? It's gonna start getting moved around, right? People gonna start moving around. You just gonna start seeing like, dang, man, we used to have 20,000 people here, and now we down to 3,000. How we gonna afford this mega church, Pastor? Right? So the shepherd has to be aware of what's going on at all times, right? And he got to have a good spirit, because you can look at in a lot of cases, you can look at a member of a church and see what type of spirit they teacher or pastor have, right? Like if you look at our brothers on the corner who'll be cursing people out and telling people, you're going to hell, condemning and all of that, what type of spirit you think they leader got? If they out there on the corner and their leader is allowing that, representing that body or congregation, you already know what type of spirit he got. That's what he do. A lot of times, like children, sometimes they'll take after their mother and their father. You can tell how their mother and father act or what they're about just by how the child act. Let's go to Genesis 1. Because it's hard being a leader. See, a lot of people don't take into consideration all the responsibility and pressures that be on people who take these type of positions, within the body. And they still human. They still they still got flesh on their bones. Ain't nobody perfect. But he gave us the rules, guidelines, and regulations so that we can maintain peace no matter what we go through in life. Genesis 1, we're going to read verses 26 through 28. Go ahead.
And Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them. And Yah blessed them. And Yah said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
So what he's doing right here, he's making man in his image, because what's done in the heaven is what's supposed to be done in the earth, right? So he wants us to be a reflection down here. My body is going to run smooth up here where I'm at, so this is how I want y'all to run down there. So he's right now delegating work for man to do. I want you to do this, you do that, you do this, right? Let's go to chapter 2, verses 15 through 18. So he delegated man work already. All right, you coming here, this is what I want you to do. Verse 15, go ahead.
And Yahuwah the Elohim took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Yahuwah the Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden they mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die.
Okay, hold it there. So Yah is giving dominion over the animals and everything, right? Now he's giving him guidelines. Okay, this is what you can do. This is what you can't do, right? Read verse 18 real quick.
And Yahuwah Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. Right. I will make him a helpmeet for him.
So now he making the helpmeet, he making the woman, right? So he gave dominion over the animals. He told him to guard, the Garden of Eden, you're going to guard this, protect this, keep it keep everything going smoothly, right? And he also gave dominion over his wife as well. You know, that's supposed to be his helpmeet, his helper, right? So she was put there to help, you know, but not for him to just to be ruled disorderly, right? There's nothing wrong with being a ruler if you rule righteously, you know, and you rule with order, you know, as the Most High wanted him to. But of course, you know, Adam messed up the chain of command, and he followed his wife instead of being a leader. Instead of being a shepherd, he let her lead, you know. He was a noodle back. He wasn't a stiff back. So he folded up under pressure, and he followed his wife, right? Now, again, leaders got to make hard decisions. So as a leader, you might be put in position sometimes to where you got to make a hard decision. A man over a household might have to make a decision, and his wife ain't going to be too happy about it. But he know I'm the man, so this is a decision that has to be made because it all going to fall on me. I'm the man. And if you be like Adam, you know, or be like I can't believe I forgot his name. What's Jezebel husband name? Ahab. Yeah, you be like Ahab, people like that, you know, and you folding up under pressure just because your wife get mad. Then when everything go wrong, who she gonna blame? It's gonna be on you. You need to be a man anyway. You know, you just listen to what I'm saying. You got to be a man. So it's out of everything gonna fall on him. But you know, Adam, he didn't play his role. He wasn't a leader, and that's why we in a lot of the situations that we in now in the world. You know, but it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to make hard decisions as a leader of a household or of a congregation, and everybody ain't gonna be happy, you know, with your decision that you make all the time. You know, and we're gonna go through here and see some examples. You know, and you might have to discipline your child, and your wife don't want you to though, and you like, nah, I gotta discipline. You know, look how he getting now. I keep letting you not handling them because you keep saying chill out. And look where we at now. Now we in the principal's office. So when we get home, your butt is mine. It's Michael Jackson, right? So he the leader. He got to make hard decisions. You know, even if the mother don't want him to do that. You know, we're gonna go to Exodus 16. He got to do it. You know, because if he don't, they both stepping outside their role. Just like Adam and Eve, you got to play your role. Because if not, you got to pay for it later. Not every leader is bad. Not every leader is good. Exodus 16. We're going to read verses 4 through 24 and 27 through 30. It says, Adam and Eve messed up. It made the Most High have to make a tough decision, which was to kick them out of the garden. And when you get to Exodus 16 and verse 4, go ahead.
Then said Yahuwah unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my way or walk in my law or no.
So he's saying, I'm gonna let it rain, you know, bread from heaven. I'm going to give you rules just so that I can see if the people are going to walk in my way or not, right? So it's almost like a test, right? Verse 5.
And it shall come to pass.
Stop the saying right, y'all. Go ahead, 5.
And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily.
We're going to double up on this 6th day. Keep going.
And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, At even, then ye shall know that Yahuwah hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahuwah, for that he heareth your murmurings against Yahuwah. And what are we that ye murmur against us? Right.
So you complaining. He heard you complaining, but watch what he do for you. Keep going.
And Moses said, This shall be.
Because a shepherd's supposed to lead his flock, right? Let's go.
When Yahuwah shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that Yahuwah heareth your murmurings which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahuwah.
So the murmurings wasn't against Aaron and Moses. It was against who? The Most High. Because he did what? Set them in that place. You know, he saw fit for that man to be leading and playing his role. So they was murmuring against Moses and Aaron. 9.
And Moses spake unto Aaron,
What did he say though?
saying unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, Come near before Yahuwah, for he hath heard your murmurings.
Right.
And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahuwah appeared in the cloud. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, At even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, It is manna. For they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which Yahuwah hath given you to eat.
So he producing for them, like he said. He leading them from one place to another, and he feeding them in the journey. Keep going.
This is the thing which Yahuwah hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents.
So he giving them a specific amount to get and everything. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel did so and gathered, some more, some less. And when they did meet it,
some more, some less. You know they gotta be hard-headed in everything they do. It's just like your children. Can I have a popsicle? Yeah, get one. It'd be 12 in a box, and there's 2 kids. It's supposed to be 10 left, and you go in there, it'd be 6. Like, come on, man. Go ahead.
And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating.
Okay.
And Moses said, Let no man leave of it till the morning.
So you got to eat it. Don't leave it. Keep going.
Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses. But some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank.
Right. So they didn't listen to him, and this was the result, right? Because the command came from Yah to Moses to tell them to do this, right? Or not right, but that's what he did. 21.
And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating, and when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, This is that which Yahuwah has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Bake that which ye will bake today, and see that it will seethe. And that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Right. So giving them directions, that way they can do have double on the 6th day, so they ain't got to worry about it on the Shabbat. They can just chill. Go ahead.
And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein.
So when they did it right, everything went good. Go ahead.
And Moses said, Eat that today, for the day is a Sabbath unto Yahuwah. The day ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people.
Let's see if they listen. Go ahead.
That there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none.
So they still didn't listen. I don't know how they playing with the Most High. So they still didn't listen, and that's just meaning they already had the intent. I'm still gonna go out there anyway. Skip what he's saying. You know, I'm gonna go, even though he told me this. I'm still gonna go do what I want to do. Now imagine your child when your children do stuff like that. You be like, stop this, don't do this. You know, whoop whoop. and they still do it. It is so frustrating, right? Well, you don't have that problem. Yeah. I'm sorry, Kurt. So, yeah, I'm talking about Kay. Us normal folks, he got blessed with the best. Yeah. So, they still hard-headed. Read verse 28.
And Yahuwah said unto Moses, How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that Yahuwah had given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day.
So, since they wouldn't listen, now Moses got to go and make a hard decision. Because he said, do this, they didn't. So now he got to go and say, hey, y'all can't even leave your house. You just stay in, because that's going to make them get right then, because they're going to I'm not finna be in here, my stomach talking to me, my stomach sound like a boombox in here, all that, I'm ration it accordingly as I was commanded now. Verse 29.
See,
where we at?
30.
Yeah, hit 30.
So the people rested on the 7th day.
So they rested then on the 7th day. So he had to tell them not to come out the house. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 8. He had to make that tough decision. And that's as a leader in our way, and whatever position you're going to play as a leader, you're going to have to make tough decisions sometimes just to maintain the order and make sure everything going as y'all playing. So 1 Samuel 8, and I couldn't imagine being Moses. I don't got none of that patience, man. I couldn't do none of that. I probably would have at the best, I would have lasted 3 days. Then I would have accidentally thought that there was an Egyptian who killed my brother while they was in Egypt. Oh, I'm bad. That ain't you. Yeah. Some people get that. 1 Samuel 8 and verse 1. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel.
So he made his sons judges over Israel. Skip to verse 4.
Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways.
So they having a problem with his sons not operating in the manner that in spirit that he operate in. Keep going.
Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations.
So now they want a king to judge them like all the nations. Go to verse 7. Keep reading 6.
But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us.
So he in his feelings about this. He bothered about what they said. Keep going.
And Samuel prayed unto Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee.
But they rejected who?
They have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto thee.
So he told Samuel, don't be in your feelings. They're not rejecting you. They rejected me because I put you in this position. Right? Not right, but keep going. 8. Did we read 8? Yeah, go to 9. My bad.
Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them.
So now he's saying, go show them how the king gonna be. Keep going.
And Samuel told all the words of Yahuwah unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said,
What'd he say? This
will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands, and captains over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants.
He gonna take your stuff and give it to the servants. Keep going.
And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards and give to his officers and to his servants.
Listen to all this stuff he gonna do. Keep going.
And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you, and Yahuwah will not hear you in that day.
And why would he give you a king that would do all of this? Read 19.
Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us.
Keep reading.
That we also may be like all the nations.
Because they still trying to be like the nations. Keep going.
And that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people.
So we can start right there. So basically, he gave them a king that's going to do all of this because the Most High had his own intent. You know what I'm saying? They seem like, oh, man, they wicked and stuff. But you got to trust in the Most High was already guiding you from this land to this land. You know, you should have known, he got a plan. Everything going to work itself out, you know, for the greater good. And the Most High, if they don't run right, then he'll eliminate them. So they either going to change and walk the right path or he going to eliminate them. This is our power. This is our God, and he's a just and mighty God. He only going to do what's right. But they didn't want that. Nah, we want to be like the nations. Let's do it like this. Okay, you're going to have a leader, and this is what he going to be. This is not a good leader. Nobody want to follow under that. You know, it's not just, it's going to feel unjust, unfair, inconsiderate of the people, trying to get something up out of them, right? But you never heard about, oh, he's going to do this, and he's going to give it to you. He's going to do that. It's just like a leech in position, you know? So basically the people will become slaves, and nobody want to feel like a slave, you know? This is like being a shepherd who do nothing but just be beating on their sheep. You know, I'm not even moving. You sitting down eating your sandwich, shepherd. I'm not doing nothing. You just want to hit me. You just don't like the way I look today or something. My curls ain't hitting like they normally do. So nobody wants a leader like that. 1 Corinthians 5. They want a leader that, you know, is going to feel just and feel that they consider their feelings, you know, and all of that. 1 Corinthians 5. And that's the way we got to be at home, too. We all got to be considerate of our children's feelings. We got to be considerate of what they deal with at school, what they go through on a daily. You know, hey, baby girl, hey, son, you know, how was your day at school? You know, what you going through? When I find out, so y'all been going through this, let me show you how to do this. Oh, no, don't listen to that little boy, man. That little boy, he really lame. You know, it sounds like he got some real game, but you know, I've been there. I've done that. So this is how you handle the situation. Now, because you built that rapport and you really caring about them so you can lead them into the right path like a good leader is supposed to do. 1 Corinthians 5, verses 1 through 13. Go ahead.
It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you.
So he said this is reported commonly, too. This is a common happening. Go ahead.
And such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife.
Man, you trying to get with your father's wife. This is crazy. Go ahead.
And you are puffed up, and have not rather mourned that he had done this deed might be taken away from among you.
Right. So this is what the people are telling Paul. You know, he had to have somebody to keep coming to him saying, hey, man, you know, this is the type of stuff that's going on. Because he said this is commonly reported. So now Paul got to write a letter, you know, and send it out. But this is something that was coming. But the people had to come to Paul so that Paul could address this, right? And he could have addressed the people individually when he was getting the reports, you know what I'm saying? Like Tyrone over there tripping, he going hard. You know, he's trying to deal with this man, wife, that, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't. He wrote a letter so that he can address the whole congregation at once. And read verse 2 again.
And you are puffed up, and have not rather mourned that he that hath done this deed might be taken away from among
Right.
you.
So they acting like it's no big deal. It's a common thing, right? You know, like even I hate to always pick on homosexuality. I mean, because fornication the same way. It's common now, so it's like nothing is wrong. You know, you got to test drive the car before you buy it. That's what they always saying, but that's not the way we was directed by the Father, right? But this is a common act, you know, that was going on. The people addressed Paul about it. Paul sent out the letters. He trying to correct the people now. Verse 3.
For I verily, as absent in the body but present in spirit, have judged already, as though I were present, concerning him that had so done this deed.
Right, so he had to come to a conclusion, and now he got to make that tough decision, right? Let's see what happened. Verse 4.
In the name of our Lord Yeshua HaMashiach, when ye are gathered together in my spirit with the power of our Lord Yeshua HaMashiach, to deliver such a one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of our Lord Yeshua. Right,
so now he's saying you got to go. So basically he's saying deliver such a one to Satan. It's basically saying you got to go. That's what you want. You want to be part of that world. We're going to let you be part of that world. You got to go, right? But he said you got to go, but he's hoping that you will be changed and saved, right? So if we had somebody running through the females here, you know, hey, man, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? We done told you about this. You ain't taking heed. You got to go, you know. But we still hope that you're going to be saved. We still hope that you're going to be changed, you know. Not in a spiteful way, you know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, man, I hate you or nothing. You know, I hate you this and that. Nah, man, I hope you change. You got to still love them brothers, right? But you got to change, right? I keep saying right. So, because it's not Satan that make people do them lustful acts. You know, everybody want to blame Satan, but it's your flesh. That's what you want, you know. So that's what you acting on. You can't serve two masters. Verse 6.
Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump.
So now a little leaven the whole lump. So therefore, that's why you got to give them over to Satan. Get rid of them. Get them out of there. Because that one dude going to turn the other dudes out, and they going to be having a fist running through the whole congregation. Fornication. Because that one dude going to make the other gentleman feel comfortable. And like it's going to become cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then they bring you in with a conversation. Man, you talking about, you know how men be. This, that, and the third, getting into details on the explicit, you know, actions they was doing and stuff. And now the other dude feeling like, man, yes. Now he become a stumbling block. The next man do it and it be a domino effect. Verse 7.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Hamashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
Mm-hmm. So you got to get that cancer out the body. Keep going.
Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote unto you in this epistle, not to company with fornicators.
So I wrote to you saying not to accompany fornicators, right? And this is talking about within the body, you know. This ain't talking about outside in that world, because you're going to be dealing with people. How I'm going to convert you if I ain't around you to do it? You know, that's why they was getting on Hamashiach. He around sinners. Man, this man be laying with every woman. He the player, and he's still around them. Why is Yeshua doing this? You got to be around them people to change them, you know, but you don't let that darkness overpower your light. But within the body, you're not supposed to have none of this going on. You're supposed to know better, so you're supposed to do better. But since you don't do better, you got to go. We got to remove that leaven or that cancer out the body. What verse we at?
10.
Go ahead.
Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters. For them must ye needs go out of the world. But now I have written.
So he that's what I was just saying. He not talking about the people of the world, verse 11.
But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother
If he's called a brother,
be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard.
so now he going into all these acts, right? He said that you call a brother. Remember, Hamashiach said, these are my mothers, these are my brothers, those who keep the commandments. So these supposed to be commandment keepers within the body. But when they doing any of these things, you got to get rid of them. Keep going.
Or an extortioner, with such a one, know not to eat. But what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not judge ye them that are within, but them that are without, Yah judgeth. Therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person.
Right. So he's saying this is inside the body. When these people inside the body doing this, you do these actions. This is how you handle it. But outside he was looking at them different because I need you to change these people. I need you to convert it. But this is within the body. So he already showing you the type of stuff that's gonna happen. But this is a decision and the letters that he sent out to the people because of the actions that was happening. And at that time, Paul was a major leader throughout all this mass area. He got a lot of people under him. So he got to send out the letter, put things in order. Hebrews 13. It's hard being a leader, household, congregation, other people. I look at all them prophets and what they went through. Man, he knew I need to be alive at this time. Hebrews 13 and 1. I really would have been scared back then. Because if I'd have had the fear of the Most High and everybody acting up, you're not finna mess this up for me. Hebrews 13, verse 1. Go ahead.
Let brotherly love continue.
He said, let brotherly love continue. Go verse 7.
7 now.
Yeah, verse 7. Go ahead.
Remember them which have the rule over you.
So those who are leading you, because people got a problem with these type of words like rule and all of that and submit. We don't like them words in this generation. So he's saying those that's leading you do what? Read 7 again.
Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Yah, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation.
Yeah, so he's saying consider their conversation. This is one thing we got to look at when we looking at somebody who leading us. Look at their conversation, but their actions got to match their conversation out. Whatever you talk, you got to walk it. You know what I'm saying? Because no man with eyes who are able to see going to be able to respect somebody who talk it but don't walk it. You're going to be like, man, this like water under the bridge. Let me just let it keep running. What verse we at? We at 8. Yeah, so you got to, if you're going to talk it, you got to work it. You got to walk it. But he said, consider their conversation. And even if you read in other translations like mine, it don't say conversation because it really translates to consider their behavior. So watch what they do. You get swindled by people when you don't look at their actions. We just listen to people say, yeah, do this, do that. But you don't do it yourself. How can I respect your word? I can't because you talk it, but you don't walk it, So he says, these are for those that are leading you, you know what I'm saying, your elders. He said, consider their behavior. Keep going.
Yeshua HaMashiach the same yesterday and today and forever.
And that's good to hear because, yeah, his character, exactly. He stays the same, bro. Whether it's good or bad, HaMashiach gonna always be the same. He went through all that stuff, but his character never broke, and that's the way we supposed to be. It's hard, but we can't be like, all right, I'm gonna be like this because I'm mad, or we gotta be like, all right, that's what a good leader does. He gonna stay consistent because he gonna understand. Romans 10. Yeah, don't treat me different, just because of this, man, you want to play like this. And I see what's going on. I'm just going to play like I don't understand. I don't see it. Romans 10, and we're going to read verses 13 through 15. And when you get there, go ahead.
For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
So that means in order to call on his name, you got to understand who he is and know who he is. You know, this ain't no just Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. You know, you got to know this man's character, you know, the ways and all of that, right? So that's what it's basically saying. Verse 14.
How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed?
Mm-hmm.
And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard?
Mm-hmm.
And how shall they hear without a preacher?
And this is what the leader's supposed to do, is to bring you into understanding all these things. Last verse 15.
And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written.
So they got to be sent by the Most High. The Most High going to put people in place. Keep going.
As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things.
Mm-hmm. So the Most High going to put in position his teachers and his leaders. So when we got these roles, it's important for us to act on it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High going certain people going to gravitate towards certain teachers, you know. Like, everybody ain't going to be able to go out there in the streets and reach somebody in the streets because they can't relate to them. You know, they going to be like, you a square. You ain't never understood this real life, so how can I respect anything coming out your mouth? You don't know what I'm going through, you know, because a lot of people be, oh, man, don't do that, you know, and get the point of the finger. Get this man an option. Show him a way. Give him a way out, right? And that's what a lot of people do. They go out there because they ain't never really live their life, so they can't understand. But give somebody who lived their life, done turned their life around, know they lingo and their ways, you know, they'll follow. Because they already gonna look at you and already expect you to be like them. But then when your conversation come out, it's like you speaking the words of Yah, you know, so you a bit of light in that darkness. So that brother gonna have 9 times out of 10 follow somebody who they can relate to, right? Right. Now, if it's an Indy 500 owner, you know, Fortune 500, should I say, you own a Fortune 500 company, you might be able to speak the lingo of somebody who can relate to you in business work and how business is structured, because they have a business like that, right? So, what verse we on?
We just finished 15.
We just finished. Go to 1 Corinthians. I lost my train of thought, y'all. I tried to play it off. First Corinthians 11 and verse 1. I'm tired, y'all. Been out here grinding, lack of sleep. It ain't the best for memory. 1 Corinthians 11 and 1.
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Amashiach.
Mm-hmm. So, with this being said, this is like having a franchise, right? If you got a franchise, you got to run it in a certain manner. You might have invested in a Sonic or something, but whatever they got, they rules, guidelines, and regulations, you got to follow that, you know? So if they stop selling tater tots, you got to stop selling tater tots. So he say, read that again.
Be ye followers of me.
Mm-hmm. So we supposed to operate as he operate, you know, and then the body is like a franchise in itself, right? I mean, so if you're going to follow somebody, it's supposed to go from A to B to Z in different areas, right? And everywhere you go, it's that same spirit. It's that same love, that same energy. So he said, be followers of me.
Even as I also am of Hamashiach.
So Paul was like a franchise. He broke off and he walked in the same manner, as attempted to walk in the same manner as the Messiah did. So that's the advice he giving them. Be like me as I try to be like the Messiah. Hebrews 13 and 17. And that's what a good leader is supposed to be telling us to do. You know, like Hamashiach, and they walk like Hamashiach walked. Hebrews 13 and 17. So when we, even at the house, when we walk as Hamashiach walk, we're supposed to be an example to our children so that they grow up in the same light. Hebrews 13 and 17. When you get there, go ahead.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves.
Obey those leading you and submit yourselves. So this is the order. So he's telling us how to operate. If a wife trying to overstep a husband, everything gonna be thrown out of whack. So he giving everybody they rules. He say, obey those leading you and be subject to them. And what else? Because what do they do?
And submit yourselves. For
Now
they watch for your souls.
For they watch for your souls. So they got a heavy burden. This is what they supposed to do so that they don't have no, and they got to try their best so that they don't have no blood on their hands. Keep going.
As they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief. Mm-hmm. For that is unprofitable for you.
Mm-hmm. So try to make their job easier by, following your role. When everybody play their role, everything flows smoothly. It's less problems, But everybody got to play their role. The flock got to play their role, and the shepherd got to play his role. You got to be a good member of the flock, and you got to be a good leader, or it's going to be chaos, Everything ain't going to have the order and decency that it's supposed to have. Let's go to Deuteronomy 30. Deuteronomy 30. We're going to read verses 1 through 2. And remember, Moses was being held accountable. I forgot to point that out when we was talking about the manna. The Most High held Moses accountable for what other people was doing. He can't help what they was doing, but he said, he came and was talking to him like, you letting them do this, So that's why he had to go and make that decision, because he was holding Moses accountable. He didn't come to Israel and say, hey, y'all doing this. He said, why you letting them do that? Then Moses went out and told the people, like, look, you can't leave the house. Deuteronomy 30 and 1 through 2. So as a leader, sometimes you're going to have to make some hard decisions. Deuteronomy 30 and 1 through 2. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither Yahuwah thy Elohim hath driven thee. And thou shalt return unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children.
Hold on, read that two again. Because this is what Moses is telling the people. But let's see who really saying it. Go ahead.
And shalt return unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day.
Because the words is coming from the Most High. Keep going.
Thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Okay. Go to 23 and 1. Because the leader is only supposed to speak the words of the Most High. So if you leading right, nobody can be mad at you. You speaking Yah's word, nobody can be mad at you. But if you get out of those lines, remember we read earlier, discipline comes to anybody. Yah don't discriminate, no matter what position you in. So even if you're in the high position, you still got to get corrected so that it can be ordered. Good examples could be set. It's easier to follow a lead or somebody who lead with a good example, and you can respect them. Acts 23 and 1, and I believe we're going to read through verse 5. Acts 23 and 1. Go ahead.
And Paul, earnestly beholding the council, said, Men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before God until this day. And the high priest Ananias commanded them that stood by him to smite him on the mouth.
Hold on. So Paul is in a position of defending himself. So he's saying, like, I'm confident in the way I walk. Read verse 2 again.
And the high priest Ananias commanded them that stood by him to smite him on the mouth.
He say, smack this man in the mouth, right? So he giving the orders to go hard, you know. Open hand or backhand. What you want me to do, high priest? Right. E Honda. Remember that? E Honda. Yeah, go hard. All right, so he's saying, go slap this man in his mouth, you know, put the fingers to his teeth. Verse 3.
Then said Paul unto him, Yah shall smite thee.
He said, oh, y'all gonna strike you. You what?
Thou whited wall.
Uh-huh.
For sittest thou to judge me after the law, and commandest me to be smitten contrary to the law.
So you judging me according to the law, and you commanded me to be struck contrary to it, because you really don't have nothing to hold against me. And you're going to tell them to smack me in my mouth. I could just imagine how Paul was, because he used to go hard before he knew Hamashiach, so he still got a little bit of that spirit in here, but he doing it for the right cause. So he telling them, he already confident in his walk. He like, nah, you going to get struck. You know, hit him in his mouth. No, you going to get struck by the Most High. You know, imagine it. You gotta put yourself there. You know how Negroes be doing. You don't get struck by the Most High. Keep reading.
And they that stood by said, Revilest thou God's high priest? Then said Paul, I wist not, brethren, that he was the high priest, for it is written, Thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people.
So, even though he wasn't really in the wrong, well, he kind of was in a way, but they was accusing him and they didn't have nothing to hold him against. But just because he remembered the law and how you supposed to deal with your elders and the high priest and the people put in power, he said, what again? He said, I didn't know. Read verse 5.
Then said Paul, I wist not, brethren, that he was the high priest, for it is written, Thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people.
So he had a certain respect and regard for this man, even though he was kind of out of line with what he wanted to do. You know, smack him in the mouth, you know, open hand, backhand, open hand. But he was like, I apologize. You know, I didn't know this. I remember what it was written in Torah that said I gotta operate in a different way when I'm dealing with somebody of that stature. Go to Ephesians 6. Because at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen. The Most High going to step in. He going to deal with the people. You really ain't got to do a lot to him because the Most High going to deal with people. Ephesians 6 and 4 through 7.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Hamashiach.
So this is what was like, it was hard for me to get over this because I was thinking like, man, I ain't finna be like this with no regular man. You trying to tell me? He said, you know, it's the same way that you would with Messiah. So I'm like, oh man, keep going.
Not with eye service as men pleasers,
but not with our service, you know, as men pleasers, just to be doing stuff to be seen by the eye, but what?
As the servants of Hamashiach, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will doing service as to the Lord and not to men.
Because you got to understand, we don't serve the man. We don't serve nobody who teach and none of that. We serving the Father with whatever we do. Bottom line, you know, because we building our resume for the Father. So it ain't that we serving that man. Now we doing our work for the Father because he need us. He need all of us. Everybody got a special role. People going to be able to reach people who others can't, you know, and that's just bottom line. It don't matter if you stand up here or it's be people in the crowd. You're going to be going to school. You're going to be going to work. People going to be able to reach other people. You know, you're going to have people that you need to talk to. Psalm 78. We got about 30 more verses. Yeah, I'm gonna be like Al tonight. He tried to sneak one in there, talking about because his list is only gonna be 30 minutes. Yeah, they gonna be able to retain hopefully in that 30 minutes. Psalm 78. Psalm 78. Ain't nothing wrong with the microwave lessons. Psalm 78, 1 through 2. Go ahead.
Give ear, O my people, to my law.
Mm-hmm.
Incline your ears to the words of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old.
I'm sorry, y'all. That's the wrong scripture. Well, I don't know where the Psalms is supposed to be at. Sorry. But that's going to conclude the lesson. So basically, the lesson today was just knowing your role. Basically, the lesson was just knowing your role. You know what I'm saying? The leaders playing their role and the flock playing their role. Just let you know it's a lot of pressure on being a leader, whether it be the leader of a congregation, of a household, wherever you be at work or whatever. But you got to lead in a certain manner, and the flock got to follow in a certain manner. Everybody play their role. Like you said, it's done a decently order, then everything will be peaceful. But if not, then chaos going to be out. So both sides have to do it. You know, everybody got to play your role because the body is important, you know, and it's good to have everybody in the body, you know, on the same page, you know, and to have that peace, to not have chaos, you know, because even just your relationship within your like the old folks say, your church home, that mess affects you throughout your whole week. Because if it ain't going right, it's steady on your mind. I can't even sleep the way that I'm supposed to be sleeping. You know, I can't function the way I'm supposed to, you know, because this stuff is steady stressing me out, you know, and it starts to be stuff that you take home. You know, like even at work, you have something to go on at work. A lot of people take it home with them. So this lesson is just to show that it's hard work on both ends, you know, and the greatest position is going to be the servant, you know. And I always know that we serving Yah, we don't serve men. So we can't let nothing that men do affect us. You know, we all got a duty. Everybody is important, man. Everybody's important. It could reach somebody that the next one can't. Like Kirk going to be able to reach people that I can't reach. Kevin going to reach people that I can't reach. Everybody. Asian, maybe. Yeah, so that concludes today's lesson. Man, I hope somebody gained something out of this and continue to serve the Most High with all your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul. I love y'all, and Shabbat Shalom.